Good morning, everyone. Glad that you're able to join me this morning. Let me bring up my iPad so I can watch your comments. Everyone. Oops. Glad that you're able to join me this morning. And I don't want to hear myself, so we muted that. Okay, looks like we're up and running. Be sure that you comment when you come on so I can say hello to you. I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get on board here. We've got a rainy, dreary, dark day here in Arkansas this morning, but we do need the rain, so I can't complain about that. Hope everyone's well. Well, let me go ahead and turn you around here. Well, let me introduce myself first. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I'm creating cards with Debbie. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. So I want to welcome you to my Facebook Live, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, on the replay, I want to welcome you to my channel. And be sure if you're watching on YouTube that you hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be notified when I upload any new videos. But let me go ahead and turn you around here, and we'll get the show on the road. Let me see which way I've got to go. And I hope we don't have any technical problems this morning. Let me get some lighting going on here. And looks like we got squigglies going on. I wonder, hope that clears out. I'm kind of watching my iPad to see if it's going to get better or worse. Okay. Well, so far it's not clearing up. Yeah, it looks like it might be. I'm going to see if that works. If it doesn't, I may have to go out and come back on. Be sure that you comment when you come on here. And say hello. Oh, come on, clear up for me. Okay, it looks like it might be clearing up. Like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you can shop in my store for any of the items that we're using today or any supplies that you may be needing with Stampin' Up. It's www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if you have any questions or any concerns, you can email me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And here's my blog address. And I also have another blog address too that I've been using, which is on my Facebook page. If you have any questions or problems with that, just be sure you get with me. And here's the address to sign up for Paper Pumpkin. And if you're shopping with me, the November code is 9PSNM43K. And you use that host code if your order is under $150. Okay, set that aside and we'll get on to the next here. Okay, Paper Pumpkin is still showcasing the Gifts Galore Paper Pumpkin Kit for November. Or, no, this is December. No, it'd be the November kit. I always get confused. But you can sign up for that until November 10th. And it has little bags gift bags that you can make. Let me see. I can't read upside down. Includes enough supplies to create 9 oversized treat boxes with coordinating food-safe bags. It's an easy to make and even easier to enjoy Christmas project. Arrives in a special box, and it comes with an exclusive stamp set and a Flirty Flamingo classic stamping spot. And with your first kit that you sign up for, you'll receive an acrylic block along with that. So, okay, I just seen somebody come on here. Let me see. Confusing. Hi, Amber. Glad you could get on this morning. Hope you enjoyed the cards today. We're going to be using some new products today that are had just came out yesterday that they're able to purchase, and it's called Eden's Garden. It has the stamp set and then the dies, matching dies, and you can get the garden gems, which these are different. They're kind of a marquee shape, and then the circle ones, there's 2 different shades in there. And I'm getting a lot of glare. I don't know. Let me see. Turn my lighting a little bit so you can see it better. Hope that's better. Maybe if I just take them out of the packaging, it might be better here. See, they're really pretty. I'm trying to wait for my iPad to catch up so I can see. Very, very pretty. And then the paper that goes along with it is called Ever Eden, and these are 12 by 12 sheets. And one side has the gold foil on them. It's this one, and here's the back side. Here's the next one. That's the back side of that one. And these are kind of similar, except for this has the soft succulent background, where this is the white. And it has this on the back. My lighting isn't that good today. We've got dreary days, so it's hard to get my lighting right. But I'm getting a lot of glare and shadows. So this one has little gold flicks in there. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but they're real small. I don't like my lighting. Let's see. Is that any better or is that worse? I don't know. And here's the back side. This is kind of pretty because it's kind of like an ombre effect on it. And this one with the evening evergreen background and then the gold leafing. And this is the back side of it. And we're going to be using this sheet of paper today on one of our cards. And here's the background. Oops, I got something on there. But I love these papers, but these are only going to be available while supplies last. And the stamp set and dies will be carried over into our January mini catalog that's coming out. But the papers and the gems won't be carrying over, so, and those are while supplies last. And also, it has, this is called Ever Eden cotton paper, which what it is, it doesn't feel like cotton, but it feels like a heavier weight tissue paper maybe. So this comes in the soft succulent and the evening evergreen, and you get 10 sheets in here, so it's 5 sheets of each one. All right, I think that's all I got to say on that. Here it shows some samples on our flyer. Like I said, these are available from November 2nd until January 3rd of 2022, with the exception of the paper and the gems are only while supplies last. So set these aside, out of my way a minute. And starting November 4th, Stampin' Up! Has a new promotion going on for signing up on my team, which is you pay $75 for your kit, but you pick out $125 worth of products. And on top of that, you'll also receive a free paper pumpkin and the benefits of signing up on my team is you get everyday discounts of 20% when you first start out, and then you got early access to new products, exclusive access to events, and you earn extra income if you share it with your friends and family. So the $75, you get free shipping. You do pay your sales tax, but that's a wonderful deal. They've never had it that cheap before. That's the lowest I've ever seen it. So if you have any questions, be sure you email me or private message me, and I'd be glad to help you with that. So I think that's all the news that I got to go over. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And I'm trying to find my comments. There they are. Good morning, Brenda. Glad you're here. I lost my comments there for a minute. I didn't see you come on. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I think we're going to start out with the Eden's Garden. Let me get my things out right here. So we're going to start with this card, which it says Sending Hugs. And this could be used for any occasion. It could be used for just a thinking of you in general. So Sending Hugs. And on the inside it says, Dear friend, how are you? My lighting is horrible. I'm wondering if it isn't because of the cloudy day. I've got so many shadows here. I don't want to move my camera. Let me see if that's any better. And my bits and pieces out here. I guess we'll just have to deal with it today. I guess it's because the cloudy day. I'm having a problem with my lighting today. Okay, and I need to get my instructions, my cheat notes. Alright, we're starting out with our Evening Evergreen cardstock, and this is just our basic size card. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and then we score it in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead and fold that, and then we're going to burnish it with our bone folder. Get a good crisp edge on there. And then we have our soft succulent cardstock, and that is 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And then a little strip of the Designer Series paper from that same suite. And this measures 1 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just going to layer all these things. So I'm just going to set these right here for now. And we've got a white, basic white, which is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And that's going to be our mat there. And We're going to start by stamping our flower first. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus because I want to get a good coverage on here. And I had the wrong paper in there. And let me make sure you're in the camera view here. The Stamparatus can be found in my store. It's a really handy gadget. If you need to stamp more than once, you're able to do that with this. So we're going to be using Evening Evergreen ink as soon as I find it here. And we're going to, I always like to lay my stamp case underneath it. It gives it some support so I can ink it up a little better. Okay, and we're just going to press that down. And then you can come back in and do it again so you get a better coverage. These are the distinctive stamps also, so you'll get variation in the color of your ink, which is really neat. I just put lotion on my hands and I usually rub it, but my fingers aren't rubbing very well. Alright, so I think that's probably good like there, right there. And I'm going to set my ink pad there. We'll take our paper out of there. One thing about the Stamparatus with your magnets, don't let them hit together because they will break, and that's what's happened to mine. But it's still able to use it, so I just end up with more than 2 now. It comes with 2 magnets, so I've got 3 now with the broken. Alright, and now we're going to take our, this is our dark Evening Evergreen Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to use that to do some splattering, but I want to cover my work surface here a little bit so I don't get a mess all over. Let me grab some scrap paper here. And we're going to maybe get things out of the way here so I don't cover everything with my ink here. Alright, so you're going to take the brush end and you're just going to flick. Okay, so it's however much you want. No set amount. Okay, I'll set that over there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put our sentiment on there, which is Sending Hugs, which comes from that same stamp set. And we're going to stamp that down in our bottom left hand or right hand corner. Okay. And I'm going to start layering onto our basic white here. And I'm going to use my liquid glue. And the Tombow glue is probably my favorite adhesive. That's what I usually grab all the time. I like it because it gives you time to wiggle your paper in case you don't have it placed quite right. Gives you a little time to fix it. So I'm just going to keep a small border on that left side. And I always have a little bit extra hanging over, so I'm going to come back in with my scissors and cut that off after I get the glue off my fingers. And I'll take my paper snips and just chop that off. And alright. I should have put this down first, but that's okay. And we're going to layer our, this one I cut out using the border edge, I guess is what it is. Just this one here. I think it's really pretty. So put that back in there. And then we're going to glue this down. And again, I'm just going to run a small glue line at the edge of our designer series paper there. And then we're going to attach this down. And this also is a little bit longer, so we're going to come back in and trim that off afterwards. Just want to make sure I've got this straight. Okay, press that down and then we'll turn it over and trim it off. I think I'm getting glue all over my work surface here. And just a tiny bit off of that end. Okay. And now we can attach that to the front of our soft succulent. Oops. I'm just getting glue everywhere here. Okay, and that's going to just leave a small, tiny border going around the whole thing. And then we're going to glue this all down to our card base, the front of our card. Are y'all having a good day? Do you have any plans of making cards today? Morning, Jackie. Is your day going good? Okay, so now we're going to bring our baby boss over here and we're going to die cut one of our leaves out. And let me get the die out here. I'm sure I had that out already. Okay. And I'm going to just put that in my thing there. Okay, so it's this little leaf. And we're going to cut that out using our gold foil paper. We're going to put Baby Boss to work this morning. Put her away. And this is what we get. Very pretty. And we're going to make sure everything popped out of there. It did. Looks good. I'm going to use some glue dots to attach that. Oops, I dropped something. I don't know what that was. Might have been a paper clip, I guess. So I'm glad to see everybody here today. What better day is there than a rainy, gloomy day than to do some crafting? So I'm going to take my glue dot and I'm going to kind of roll it so I can fit it on here without showing. And I think I'm going to put 2 on there. And I'm going to do the same with that one too. I'm going to roll it a little bit to make it a little smaller. And then we're going to attach that to our die cut area here, like this. And then I've got some of our gold trim the Simply Elegant trim, and you get the gold and you get the silver. And we're going to use the gold one today. And I need another glue dot to attach that. So, what do I just pick that off of there? Oops. I'm going to place it at the bottom of that leaf. And then attach our bow. I've already tied a bow with our trim. Like this. Set those aside. Well, the gems that I use. Where did I put them? So I think we're going to use our brand new garden gems to put on there. I used some other rhinestones, but I think I'm going to go with these. Well, it's more of a red than a green. I could use some of these. I'll go with the marquee ones. I guess they're all the same size. Well, yeah, look like they're all the same size. So we're going to put one up here. Maybe one there. And another. Where do we want it? Maybe up on the trim there. Okay. It's kind of pretty. It kind of picks up the light a little bit when you turn it. So it kind of changes color. Very pretty. Alright, now we're going to do our inside of our card. Which this is our 4-inch by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment there, which is, "Dear friend, how are you?" And we're going to kind of do that towards the left-hand side, upper left. And trying to get this off without getting ink all over my fingers. We're going to snitch that away from our sorry about the noise. So we're going to use our flower, and we're going to stamp that down in our bottom corner. And this would probably be a little lighter than our other one was because we're only going to stamp it once. But I like that. It looks good. Don't you think? Okay, so we're going to attach that to the inside of our card. Alright, and I got green ink on my finger, of course. Let me close that up. Okay, so there's our first card. Sending hugs. Dear friend, how are you? Alright. And then we're going to do another one with that same set. Here it is. I'll get some pieces out here. And it's the inside. So I've already done a little bit of die cutting ahead of time to save a little time here. But our card base is just our standard size. It's the 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored at 4 1/4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish that edge. But I've used that same die to cut the edge of our card using the little edgelet one here. So, but I've already done that ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me cutting that. So, and then I've got another strip of designer series paper here that is 7/16 inches by 5.5 inches. And that's going to go on to our inside of our card. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. I like this side of the paper too. It's always hard to decide which side to use. You don't want to cover up any pretties. Well, I think my glue is clogging up on me from leaving it uncovered here. So we're going to put that just exactly flush with the bottom. And oops. There we go. Alright. And then we have another designer series paper. This measures 3 1/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's going to go at the top of our card. But first I'm going to get our ribbon, which is the open weave soft succulent ribbon. I'm going to tie a little strip across the bottom. So we're going to cut this down, and then we're just going to attach it to the back side to hold it in place. And I'm just going to use some Scotch tape to hold that. You could use your tape runner or anything that you wanted to attach it, but we're just going to go with this. And it doesn't show, it'll be on the inside, so nobody will know. And see if I can't get that somewhat straight. Must be pretty cool out this morning because my heater's running pretty constantly this morning. And I think that's good. Alright, and then we have another strip of the gold foil paper. And I didn't measure that. Let me get my ruler over here. It is, looks like 5/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's just going to go underneath our designer series paper. And I'm going to use my tape runner there because I don't want to get ink all over my gold foil, which is very hard to get back off again. So we're going to use a tape runner, our stamp and seal. And I'm just going to run a small strip along the bottom side of our paper there, and then we're going to place this on top. I'm going to leave a little layer sticking out, which is kind of eyeballing it to see where I want it. I think that's good right there. So it'll look like this. And that's all going to be glued onto our card front. And I'm just going to, I've got a frog in my throat. I'm just going to leave a small border at the top and the sides. And might be a little bit crooked, but we're going to go with it. And then I've tied a little bow using that same ribbon, and that's going to go at the bottom here. And we're going to use a glue dot to attach that. And we'll use my take your pick tool to hold that little glue dot. Works better than our fingers. And we're just going to press that on there. Very cute. So we're going to set that aside. I've already die cut I use this die, and I die cut the soft succulent using that, and then I also used it to die cut our gold foil paper out. And what I'm going to do, I want the gold to be on the upper portion, so I'm just going to pop the center out of that and set that aside for another project. And I'm going to do the same with the soft succulent, and we're going to piece them together. So we need this piece, and then we need this piece, and we're going to just place them back together again. Oops. Kind of figure out which way they go. And, okay, I'm going to turn them over and do them because we're going to put a little bit of Scotch tape on the back side to hold them in place. And I moved it on myself here. Oops. And you don't need a lot, probably just a small piece at each corner or each side, because we're going to be putting it on dimensionals anyway. So okay, and I've got a little bit of gold piece that needs to be popped out of there, and there and there. I guess I should have cleaned this up before I placed it down. There's a few places that didn't pop out. Okay, there and there. All right, got some gold spots here. All right, so here's what it would look like. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on there that says, "Dear friend, how are you?" We're using that same sentiment. I really like this, the sentiments in the stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that in the center. Okay, it's a little bit light on that one side, but that's okay. Oops, we're sticking to my paper here. And now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of that. Got little gold spots stuck to my fingers. And I'm just going to put 2 at each end. And let's put 1 in the center too to help support it. We don't want it sinking. I've got a sleeping dog over here snoring. Don't know if you could hear him on the camera or not. Her, Miss Cookie. Okay, so this is going to be put up in our left side. And then I'm going to add a little extra bling. I know some people don't like bees, but these bees are cute. It's the bumblebee trinkets. And we're going to take one and we're going to add to the card. And with these you get 20 of those. And those are in our annual catalog in the embellishments section. So let's take a glue dot and we're going to attach our little bee to the front of our card. And I think I'm going to put her, oh, she's going to sit on this leaf right there. Okay. And now for the inside, we're going to stamp our sentiment, which is, my heart is tied to yours. Tug if you need anything. And I'm not putting a white layer in here. I'm just going to stamp directly onto our cardstock, our card base. So we're going to stamp that right in the middle. Okay, get our stamps out of the way here. Okay, so here's our second card. Dear friend, how are you? That little bee right there. And on the inside, my heart is tied to yours. Tug if you need anything. Alright. So, that's card 2. Let's go on to card 3. We're going to be doing some messy stuff here. So let me move my things out of the way a little bit. My broom. Lid on my glue for a bit. We're doing good at time, I think. Hope nobody's in a hurry today. Just rearranging things here. Okay. We're going to be using, this is, I don't know if you watch her on Facebook or not, it's Frenchie, or France Martin is her name. And this was her $1 million stamp set that she created. It's called After the Storm. And I hadn't really worked with it yet, so this is probably my first time doing anything. I just received it just a few days ago. So it's sure got a glare on there. It's really different, but I enjoyed working with it. I had fun. So here's the card. It says, even the darkest night will pass and the sun will rise. And then the inside it says, you have been on my mind. We're going to be doing some blending with our inks. And we're going to make that scene. And all we're doing is using the clouds for the mountains and then the smaller clouds for the clouds. So we're going to be using our colors of ink are Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, and So Saffron. So I'm going to bring in my paper here to protect my surface. And we'll go ahead and open all these. We're going to be using the blending brushes and sponge daubers. So that'd be a combination of the two. And so we're going to start out with our card base, which is the Evening Evergreen, and that's just our basic card size. It's the 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So we're going to go ahead and burnish that, and then we're going to set that aside because we're going to get into the messy part of this. And the inside was 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches of the basic white, and also the same size, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches for our card front that we're going to be getting messy, doing some stamping on and blending. So I'm using our blending brushes. You get 3 in a package. I think they're $12 or $12.99, something like that. And they're in our annual catalog also. So if you go online, you can just put in blending brushes and it should come up okay. So you get 3, and to clean those, you just run them underneath warm water and then let them dry. I very seldom use any soap on them because just the plain water does a great job. So we're going to start out, we're going to start out with the lightest colors. So we're going to take our saffron, I need to make some room here, and we're just going to rub it on our ink pad. And you don't want to start directly on your card surface, so we're going to run off of there. And I'm just going to run a streak going across, the lower third of the card front. Okay. And I should have had an inky rag out here and I didn't. Let me grab a paper towel. I'm just going to take my paper towel and I'm going to rub off that excess because we're going to use this for our next color. And I should have an inky rag here, but I don't. I guess I must have put it in the laundry. That should be fine. Alright, now we're going to come back with our sponge dauber and we're going to make our sunrise. I guess it could be a sunrise or a sunset. Not sure if the sun's going down or coming up. Alright, so let me grab my sponge dauber. And these can also be found in my store or in the catalog. And with this, we're going to kind of build up our sun a little bit. I think my sponge daubers are kind of getting old because they're leaving me streaks here. I may have to come back in with my blending brush and fix it. So get it as dark as you want your sunset to be or sunrise to be. And I'm going to kind of go off on the side. Let me see if I can't tone this down a little bit with my blending brush. I need to get me some new sponge daubers, I guess. They're kind of getting dry on me or something. Okay. Oh, that's not going to show because we're going to be going over it with our other colors, so it'll be okay. You set the ink pad aside, and I'm going to go with our, well, I think I'm going to add our Calypso Coral to our sun. And like I said, I'm tapping off a lot of the excess there. And I'm just going to lightly go over the yellow and kind of give it an orange sheen a little bit. Because our sunsets and sunrises aren't completely yellow. They've got a little orange in there. Okay, so we're going to leave that. And I'm going to grab another brush here to do our balmy blue sky. And we're going to start off the edge and work our way over across our sky here. And let me turn this way. You can get it as dark as you want the sky to be. I'm going to leave it like that because we're going to be doing the clouds. But first I want to get our evening evergreen, which is, where did I put it? Right here, hiding. And we're going to use that at the bottom. same with that. You want to tap it off and then start at the edge of your paper and work your way over. Otherwise, you'll leave weird marks like that when you first start. Oops, sort of like that I kind of did, but my stamp will cover that up when I get to stamping. It's quiet here except for Cookie snoring. And the husband's out in the garage putzing around with stuff. I don't even know what he's doing. I guess he wanted to get out of my hair today. Okay, so we're going to set our blending brushes aside for a moment. And we're going to come in with our small cloud. And we're going to do our sky. I just want to see how that looks. Okay. And we're just going to stamp them randomly. There's no set pattern or nothing. And one there. And looks like a cloudy day, like today. All right, I think we're done with the balmy blue. We'll close that up. And now we're going to do our mountains, which is a large cloud. And I'm using the Evening Evergreen. And we're going to make mountains using our cloud stamp. And I'm just going to fill in the gaps here with those. And I think we want our mountains going up a little bit. And if it doesn't get dark enough the first time, you can come back in and stamp, because it doesn't matter if they match up or not. Couldn't think of the word I wanted. Okay. Alright, so sort of like that. I'm going to set my dirty paper aside. And we're going to stamp our sentiment there right above our sunrise, sunset. So it says, even the darkest night will pass and the sun will shine. So we need to add some birds. So we're just going to use our black memento ink. And we're going to put some birds flying. I like to do odd numbers, so we'll do 5. Okay. Okay, so that's our card front. We're going to come back in with our ribbon, which is the Open Weave Evening Evergreen. And we're just to cut a strip off of there. That'll go along the bottom side. And we're going to use a Scotch tape trick again. I'm attaching it with Scotch tape at the back side. I held a class yesterday with some ladies in our group, and we put together the Love Santa tag kit. It was fun. It's just good to get together with everybody again. It's probably my first live class that I've really held this year since the pandemic and everything. So it was a lot of fun getting everybody together. Okay, so we're going to take our card base and we're going to attach this to the front using our Tombow liquid glue or green glue. Some call it green glue, some call it Tombow. I guess I call it Tombow, but it could be called liquid glue because it is a liquid glue. Okay, so we're going to attach that to the front of our card front. And I'm going to try to get that pushed over a little bit. Alright. Come on, slide over for me. Yeah, let's take it back off again. Okay. And now we're going to come back with a little piece of ribbon. We're just going to tie a piece of that and have a faux bow in the lower right hand corner. And we'll come back in and trim that off a little bit. And I've got paper stuck to my scissors. And I always like to cut my ribbon off at an angle instead of straight across. And I'm not sure if that's the right way or if it's just something that I do. Alright, so for the gems I'm going to add on here are the blue Adhesive-Backed gems. And these have different colors. There's more of a blue and then there's more of a green. So we're going to be using the green tint ones. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And we're going to place these. I think I'll go this side. And I just put 3 in a row right here, so I think that's what I'm going to do with this one too. I'll usually put 2 and then split them up, but I'm going to do all 3 in a row right there. So here's the front of our card. So let's do the inside of our card, which has the sentiment, "You have been on my mind," and I'm going to be using the Evening Evergreen, and I just stuck my fingers all in that. Lovely. My baby wipes, you know, come to the rescue. I just had to do that. Seems like the dark colors, you seem to get it all over your fingers for some reason. Wipe my hands clean a little bit. Alright, now we can stamp one. Might have missed a little bit right there. Nope. Okay. And we're going to just stamp that in the center. Let me close up my ink pad before I stick my fingers in it again. I need to close this one up too. And make sure the fingers are clean. Okay, so we're going to attach that to the inside of our card. All right. And I'll have this all up on my blog later this afternoon if you want to get the dimensions to everything. You can get that blog address right off of my Creating Cards with Debbie Facebook page. Okay, so here's our third card. Even the darkest nights will pass and the sun will shine, the sun will rise. So I guess that is a sunrise, okay. And you have been on my mind. So there's our cards for today. Let me move all my inky stamps out of the way here. And we'll get them all set out here. And we'll see if I can fit them all in camera view here or not. I guess that works. So here's our cards for today. I hope you enjoyed all of them. And if you have any questions, be sure that you either private message me or email me. And until next week is, let me see, I'll get my calendar out here. Next week will be November 10th, and I'll be live again at 10 o'clock on that day. So I hope you'll be able to join me. Set your alarm on your clock, on your cell phone, so you don't miss. And I want to say goodbye to everybody, and y'all have a great day. Stay healthy, and hopefully you get to make some cards today on this gloomy, gloomy day. So until next week, bye.